Welcome to 100 Yards of Football this evening. It's our Monday night special as we preview the biggest game in college football, which is going to happen Saturday night in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, as the number 3 Georgia Bulldogs take on the number 2 Alabama Crimson Tide. I'm your host, Vincent Turner, and joining me this evening as he's going to explain why the University of Alabama is going to beat Georgia on Saturday night. My man, he's one of the top high school football coaches in the state of Georgia. Matter of fact, in the nation. The guy knows defense from inside out. Excellent defensive line coach. Can coach any defensive scheme. He's from the city of Atlanta. Went to Redan High School. A legend in this area. The very talented Kevin the Bull Jones. So if you like the video today, please come in and share it and get ready for the magic carpet ride, because we're finna go on one right now. As Mr. Coach Kevin the Bull Jones is going to tell us why the University of Alabama is going to be successful on Saturday night against the University of Georgia. Take it away, Kevin the Bull Jones.
Vincent.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
my brother. It's so great to hear from you this evening. I tell you what, I just got off the field myself. I couldn't wait to see you. Couldn't wait to catch the eyes and the ears of sports fans across America. Let me tell you what we have been able to pull off back there.
May I ask you a question?
Yes, go ahead.
Today I did a game preview on Georgia and Alabama. I've had a lot of response from the Georgia people. So we have a lot of people from Georgia that really thinks they can win on Saturday night and stop your number 1 ranked offense. So I'm going to leave it there. So be kind this evening when you break down why Alabama's going to beat Georgia. You have the floor, sir.
Well, I tell you something. With a name like Bull Jones, I don't know how kind I can really be, but I'm just going to keep it real. R-E-A-L, like my granddaddy used to say. First of all, one of the reasons why we're going to be able to take out UGA, and listen, I live in Georgia. Yes, I am roll tide for life. My tax dollars, however, do go to UGA, okay? Since I work in Georgia, the tax dollars go to UGA. So listen, Coach Smart, it's going to be fun to watch y'all come down to Tuscaloosa, and we're going to have a wonderful reunion. Listen, the most prolific offense in college football today. We just finished, we're averaging 51 points a game. Okay, so listen, everybody wants to know, how is Alabama going to take out those Bulldogs from Athens, Georgia? Let me start right here. First of all, 21-0. There's a reason why it says 21-0. Okay, because there's a masterful plan. The master has taught his pupil, Kirby Smart, how to be the best college football coach in America. However, when it comes to these two playing, there is a mental edge. See, here's what just happened, Vincent. Ole Miss really shook us up. Some people say that we were out-coached. I don't think we were out-coached. Lane Kiffin is one of the best coaches in America. And he's from Tuscaloosa. He was from Alabama, where he won a national championship. So he knew all the nooks and crannies of our defense. He knew how to make Saban uncomfortable, which is what he did. And he definitely had a way of baptizing Pete Golden on more than one play, which at the end of the day, we just had to find another way to be successful by any means necessary. A wise man told me, don't worry about how rough the water is, just bring the daggum ship in. And that's what Coach Saban and those Crimson Tide did. That's what we did, Vincent. We brought the ship in, and we brought it in because out of all of that was happening, the storm, the hurricane, we found another way to win. When people look at our defense, we've got 9 underclassmen starting on defense, including yours truly, Will Anderson. We got Drew Sanders from Texas. So we got some young guys, and we had a great scheme thrown at us. And we bended. The ship rocked a little bit. But at the end of the day, that offense, those studs, those horses, I'm talking about Najee Harris, over 200 yards rushing. I'm talking about Devontae Smith, over 100 yards in receptions and touchdown. I'm talking about Jalen Waddle. I'm talking about Mac Jones. We have guys, a 4-headed monster that UGA, as great as their defense is, and I'm hats off to them. I won't take that away from them. Outstanding defense, battle tested. They held those balls to 1 yard, minus 1 yard rushing the whole game. And they weathered the storm. Vince, I think you're from Tennessee. We'll come back to that in a minute. But I'm just saying they were able to withstand that great pressure from Tennessee for Coach Pruitt, and their defense swelled up. So when that happens, you got a great offense against a great defense. Defense has to decide what they're going to take away. Well, now Georgia has a host of running backs, and then they have one receiver that stood out. Stetson Bennett did a great job. I won't take anything from him, but he exposed something. He exposed that they do run the zone read, and he will keep the football. Those are things that Coach Saban and Coach Golden and Coach Strong and the rest of that defensive staff for Crimson Tide, we're going to be able to take advantage of that because that allows our linebackers to flow. No one else is going to be able to put together what Lane Kiffin did. And might I add this, reason number 3. At the end of the day, those dogs up in Athens are going to do what they do, which is pound that football. They're not going to spread the field. They're not going to come out with no huddle. They're not going to go up tempo. They're going to stay within what they do, what they've always done between those hedges. And that's just running back university. They're going to pound that ball. And listen, I would agree. We do have to bow up on that front. We're still not getting that pressure that we need to get up front, Vincent. So we got to get better. We got some issues that we need to fix. DJ Dale, Justin Ibuke, as well as Will Anderson. We need to bow up a little bit. We had a tough time the other night. So with that being said, it happened to us because they spread us out. Okay, those guys in Athens, they're gonna come downhill. They don't care if you know the play. Georgia has a massive offensive line, and some might think they even have the edge. And you know what? Here's the deal: can you do it back to back? That's what champions do, Vincent. We go back to back games of successful challenges. We got to line them up and play. So last week is over. Let me go to the next point. Secondary play by Georgia got exposed a little bit the other day. Some deep balls that were thrown by Tennessee that usually Georgia, and I give them credit, they're extremely sound, but I'm talking about those go routes. I'm talking about those you want to stretch the field and see how far you can go. Okay, now whether Tennessee is always been good about doing stuff like that, it was a great plan. It's just that it wasn't the front, it was a front 7 that Tennessee couldn't handle. But at the end of the day, we got Jalen Waddle, we got Devontae Smith, we've got that beast in the backfield, Najee Harris. It can go either way. And we have more weapons that UGA will have to defend. And that's the 5 reasons why Georgia is not going to be able to take us out. It's going to be a great game. I would even say it's going to be a close game. But once again, the experience is going to prevail in this type of situation, and we're going to be on top. Georgia, I give them credit for having a great defense. Offensively, they rose to the occasion, but it took the defense to change the whole level of play this past Saturday. It was the defense. This week, defense has got a tough job. We got more ammunition than Tennessee had, and that's the reason why we're going to take them out. It's going down this Saturday.
Okay, you brought up some great points, and I'm not going to say anything wrong this evening, but I'm going to kind of represent Georgia's defense tonight. I just have some questions for you. I'm going to throw some stats up here, and you explain to me. 647 yards total offense, Ole Miss on Saturday night. Matt Corral, 356 yards in the air. The running game with Snoop Connor, he went over 100 yards. But I'm not even going to throw the offensive numbers at you. I'm going to throw this situation at you on Saturday night. Now, you're a coach. You know a lot of coaches on the national level. So tell me, how many NFL scouts are going to be in the stadium on Saturday night, are going to be watching nationwide?
Well, I'll tell you this much. For that game, because Georgia has so many outstanding players on that defensive side of the ball.
Now you're saying the correct answer. How many scouts are going to be watching nationally, and how many scouts going to be in the stands on Saturday night?
Well, of course, you know we're going to let the people in there.
Give me a ballpark figure.
I tell you what, there should be between 50 and 100 scouts easy watching that game. And can I tell you why? Now, I tell you why?
let me finish. Now, last week, Georgia's secondary gave up 2 touchdowns in the passing game. But I'm looking at this. I'm Tyson Campbell. I'm Eric Stokes. I'm Richard LeCount. I'm Lewis Klein. So I'm looking at that great Alabama receiving core that you just mentioned. And I'm saying, woo-wee, I can make some money on Saturday night. Because one thing Georgia has, they got 10 sacks on the season. Then on top of that, you take away the fumble early on that Georgia gave Tennessee a gift. You take them 7 points away, Georgia's only giving up 7 points, but they're still the number 1 defense. Then you're looking at the depth. They played 25 players. And let me tell you this. Everybody was talking about Raekwon Smith a couple of years ago. You need to be talking about that young man that's from Horn Lake, Mississippi, named Naquan Dean that Alabama wanted. Horn Lake, Mississippi, since you're going to bring up Tennessee this evening, it's only 35 miles from my hometown, which is the 901 Memphis, Tennessee. Shouts out to N'Kobe Dean. Then Monty Rice is starting to be real high on the NFL scale. Then I'm going to talk about the Georgia D-line. Now, what I saw that your D-line at Alex Leatherwood, Landon Kennedy, and Devontae Brown, even though y'all put up yards, but y'all kind of struggled last Saturday night. Y'all really did. Now you looking at Adam Addison. I can't pronounce the kid name. Help me out. Ala Larry, the kid out of Marietta, who was voted the D lineman of the week. Yeah. Okay. Devontae Wyatt, Jordan Davis, Malik Herron. They whooped Tennessee offensive line to a puff last week. Now, I'm not going to go on here and talk anything crazy. They're going to hold Najee Harris to no incredible yards, like 20, 30 yards a game, because Najee Harris is trying to win the Heisman. Right now, he's the best player in college football after 3 weeks. But what I'm saying is, Coach Bull Jones, when you look at Georgia's defense, it's comparable to that 79 Alabama defense that had Brian Braggs, Wayne Hamilton, E.J. Jr., Thomas Boyd. I'm going to throw the 2001 Miami defense that had D.J. Williams, John DeVilma, Ed Reed, I think you know him, Hall of Famer, and that Washington team that was in 91, they had Steve Edmond, Jamin Bailey, DeMarco Farr, Dana Hall, who ended up being a great safety in the National Football League. That defense is comparable to those defenses right there. So if I'm a betting man, I'm going to say Georgia's secondary is going to be up for the challenge. And one more key to this. To me, I think the key to the ball game for Georgia is can Stetson Benson V from the 901 to Black Shield, Georgia, can he beat Joe Burrow from last year when LSU came to Tuscaloosa and put that 40? Oh, my
God.
Can he beat Joe Burrow? Can he beat Joe Burrow?
Oh, my gosh. You're going to need some help. Oh, my gosh. I don't believe. Can you believe he said that? Can you believe he said
Stephen hurt him with his legs. You talked about the read option 5 minutes ago. That's all I'm saying.
And with that, with that statement, let me say,
go ahead, sir.
At Alabama, we have 4 returning starters on our offensive line. Now, it's funny. I told you I was coming back to that offensive line. It's because I really wanted to love them up this week, because here's what happened. There's something about them dogs up front. We talk about great backs, but you got to have a great offensive line. Let me show you what Alex Leatherwood was saying on the sidelines of the game, and they showed him on television. He was upset. You know why? Because he was ready. Just feed us. Run behind me. Run behind me. Let's get this job done. That's what Alex Leatherwood said, a returning starter. Evan Neal, Landon Dickerson, Devontae Brown, Emil Ikayor. These guys help amass over 723 yards of total offense. That's never been done in the history of Bama football. We decided to go ahead and take it the game over with the offensive line. Yes, we knew it was a mismatch, but here's the thing. We scored on all but 2 series in the 2 possessions in the game, and we controlled the football. If you look at how much time was spent, we controlled a pivotal point of the game, which is ball control, something that Kirby Smart at Georgia does a fantastic job of with that run game. But we turned around and decided. So the experience in these championship situations is on our side. It's not on Stetson Bennett's side. Much love to all the success he's had. But he's going to have Christian Harris, Dylan Moses running at him. And then he's going to have my favorite, Will Anderson, who a lot of people, oh, he missed too many tackles. He missed a lot of tackles. It was raining, and he's fast. And he's so fast that sometimes he can run in the room, turn the light off, and hop in the bed before the light go off. That's how fast he is. And you know that's from the one and only Muhammad Ali. Now we're talking about speed. So now we have awesome linebackers. So if Stetson Bennett decides to run, Vincent, I can tell you right now, y'all might be have to look at your backup. Find somebody else, because one thing Stetson Bennett does well, he throws those intermediate to inside the hash passes. He does a great job with that. His weakness is thrown on the outside. And when I say outside, I mean out routes and corner routes where you're running down the hash and then you break to the pylon. So you're going towards the sidelines. Those are not his successful throws. His successful throws are in the middle. He does that well. But he showed that he can run that football. And that's something that you and I know that Fromm last year would never do for Georgia. And that's why the running backs were mad at him in the first place. He would never pull it and keep it. So guess what? If I know it, you know the master of disaster. Nick Saban knows it. Pete Golden knows it. And for everybody that wonders, what's the problem? The problem is we had so many people go in the draft that now we got to play young bucks, and they're all over the field, especially on the defensive side. We got 9 underclassmen starting. So guess what? They're going to be peaks and valleys. But stay with me. Stay with me, Bama fans. This is going to be a gala spectacle. I'm going to tell you right now, George is not going to back down, and that's fine. We like a fight. That's why we're called Roll Tide. There's a reason why they say Roll Tide roll, because just in case you didn't get it the first time, you're going to get it the second time. We're going to make sure you hear it. So I think that when it's all said and done, Georgia is going to try to make sure that they control the line of scrimmage with their defense, and we're going to control the line of scrimmage with our offense. So what's going to balance this out? Special teams. Georgia likes to blitz their linebackers. We haven't really been doing a lot of blitzing. Kirby blitzes the secondary. We're not big on blitzing in the secondary right now with those young guys. And yes, we do have a problem because Jordan Battle, is going to be out for the first half because of things the targeting hit. It was bad, and he has to learn from that. And we have a rookie at the star position, that's Malachi Moore, and he true freshman. So we've got young guys out there, and we still prevailed in the highest scoring regular season game ever in the SEC. They didn't think we could do it. We got Steve Sarkisian. Y'all got Coach Monken, great coach. But can he do it back to back? See, that's what greatness is. Greatness comes in consistency. And even when it's Roll Tide roll, we still were able to sail pretty well and come out with the victory. The question is, will Georgia show up? You tell me that. Can they show up for this game back to back? Can they do it?
Well, like I said, the timing is right, my man. When you look at it, how old were you in 1976?
Oh, wow. I can't remember that far.
It brings back deja vu because I remember a team, Alabama, came into Athens ranked number 10, and Georgia was number 6. And I think Georgia walked away with a 21-0 victory, the only team ever shut out under Bear Bryant. But I'm going to say this as my final words tonight. When you look at the game, you look overall, 2 weeks ago, I had Alabama as a Wyoming favorite. No question about it. But my eyes started kind of twinkling after I saw Ole Miss put up 647 yards of total offense. And I saw Matt Corral throw for almost 368 yards. But the most alarming factor was the line of scrimmage. I never seen an Alabama team recently give up 268 yards on the ground. And they was gassed. because Lane Kiffin was going fast up and down the field. So that being said, this is a different team coming in. I get it. Ole Miss has got a good offense. Lane Kiffin is one of the better offensive minds, but this defense is special at Georgia. And I'm going to go back again to a great legend from your home state who made a song back in 75 by the name of the song was the Dooley Junkyard Dogs. And no lyrics to that song, to that defense, and I call Georgia's defense now the Dooley Junkyard Dogs 2020. They will knock you, they will hit you, they'll haul you off, and they'll sock you. And that being said, I don't know, man. It's going to be a great game on Saturday night, but this is a different Georgia team defensively. And offensively, I hear you talking about Alabama's offensive line. No question about it. Leatherwood, top 10 pick next year in the 2021 NFL draft. But Georgia has got some pretty good players on the offensive line. Trey Hill, Schaefer, and Zamir White, even though he struggled, he might be a factor. We talking about the great young man out of San Francisco, Najee Harris. But I'm going to say this. I haven't put up my prediction yet because we only talking Monday. And there's excitement in there here in Metro Atlanta, especially where I live in Douglasville. But if the game get close on Thursday or Friday evening, you know what? I don't know. I might take that dog over there in Athens. They will hit you. They will knock you. They'll haul you off and they'll sock you. The great lyrics of your homeboy, the great legend, James Brown.
We'll see. Here's the thing, Vincent. This is how we do it down in Tuscaloosa. We don't wait till the last minute and see how the game is going to jump on the bandwagon. We already on the bandwagon. We were born on the bandwagon. We're going to stay on the bandwagon. Here's the magnificent part of what's about to happen. You know, Elijah Moore, everybody talked about how great he was. Lane Kiffin said he was the greatest receiver he ever coached. And I made a prediction. He would not have 160 yards of catches and receptions in the game. And how about this? This is how we've been doing great. He had 11 catches, 143 yards. He had no touchdowns, Vincent. We shut him down. See, here's the thing. Here's the smoke screen. Everybody's worrying about all the bells and whistles. We go ahead and we find out what it is that we got to take away from you, and we're going to go ahead and take it away. And that's what happened. We took away Elijah Moore. He didn't score. Now, yes, they did spread us out. Yes, they did run the ball. Yes, they did irritate us with the no huddle. They did all of that. And at the end of the day, we're still Teflon Don, Vincent. We didn't go anywhere. We stayed right there and decided we're going to prepare for sudden change and find another way to win a football game. So all we did was decide to put up a 700 yards total offense and score the most points ever in a regular season SEC football game. That's what we decided to do to be successful. And all I say to you is, when it's all said and done and the smoke cleared, here's what it is. Our quarterback, and I said this long time ago, quarterback play is going to determine the winner of this game, because the offense and the defense of Georgia, the offense of Alabama, they X themselves out. Okay? Now, what is going to happen on the flip side? What is Georgia's offense going to be able to do? Zamir White did not have a good game last week. That the backup did better than he did. And so the Milton kid, he was great. Okay, you had a reverse play. You ran with the Burton kid. That's great. That's fine. But that's one thing about, you know, when you get trick plays and all those, you can only run them one time. That's just coach's rule, Vincent. So after that, you're going to have to get the butter from the duck. You're going to have to line up foot to foot and come downhill. A lot of great coaching buddies of mine are Georgia fans. And like I said, I live in Georgia, so my tax dollars go to Georgia. There's nothing I can do about that. I don't work in Alabama. However, at the end of the day, the cream rises to the top. And we're going to prove to everybody once again how great we are down in Tuscaloosa, how Nick Saban can take one thing he said. I'm going to mention it one last time, and I hope my viewers get it. One time he said, listen, you never lose. You either win or you learn. You win or you learn. So at the end of the day, we lost some edges as far as on our defensive whole legacy of toughness last week because Ole Miss got after us. Now we have to learn from it. We had a whole week to get ready. And guess what? One thing I will say about those dogs, they not running from us. They not running from us. And when they get down there, they're going to hear this wonderful song called Sweet Home Alabama. And ain't nothing they can do about it because it's going to be Roll Tide Roll.
Okay. Well, that concludes our video today. As we talked about, why is Alabama going to beat Georgia? It's going to be a great football game on Saturday night down there in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I'm going to have everything cleaned off my schedule. I'm going to be in front of my TV, and it's going to be a very enjoyable game. Games like this has made college football so special in the South. So, my final words, thank you, Coach Jones, as I leave you with this. As the great poet out of Washington, D.C., Coach, you know him by the name of Marvin Gaye. Let's get it on in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Saturday night. Thank you and God bless. You've been watching 100 Yards of Football.